Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave out through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Freedom Network. Gary Rosenberg, your host. Very glad that you decided to join us tonight for this episode of the Freedom Network. Have tons of stuff to get into. Lots of politics going on. It's local. It's national. It's even international today. I mean, there's just so much happening. So we're gonna jump right in it. You know how you can get a hold of us. I know the method of choice is the email, and that's up on there, timorgary@gmail.com. You can also call in, which some brave souls choose to do. Others just choose to email. That's fine either way. Your emails can be kept anonymous, or they certainly can toss your name right out to them. And we got a ton of emails. So what I'm going to do is go through the emails, get into some of that stuff, answer some questions, and then we'll jump right into the politics of the day and the week. We'll get the local stuff right out of the way. I've had a lot of people that want to talk national politics, and a lot of you Northbridge people also do like to talk national politics. Your voice is heard right here. I get it. And I happen to love to talk about national politics as well. So we'll get into that, but it can always be brought back local. As a matter of fact, the Freedom Network can go in any direction you want because it's all about you. It's all about the people watching the program and what kind of conversations you want to have. Sometimes they generate dozens and dozens of emails. Sometimes they don't. We had an amazing amount of emails after the last show, and they're from all over the place because you could be watching online, you could be watching locally, and we even have people that we'll learn about now in the emails that live right here in town but don't watch it on television because they may not have the cable. So it's nice that we're able to be out there online. I did get from Anonymous a couple of things. I'll try to get through them, Anonymous. Let's see here. First up, will the town have any public comment period at the town hall or public hearings on the town proposed new smart water meters? Is that on the Springtown meeting agenda for implementation? I don't know, but I'll ask. I think we can find that out. We'll find that out for you. No problem. I'll reply to you or let you know here on the show. Why does the town's Veteran Memorial Committee need to seek private donations to repair the town's World War I memorial in Rockdale? Why was it not in the town's 5-year capital outlay plan? The town cannot afford $40,000 out of its annual $38 million budget. I'm going to tell you, I feel very strongly about the veterans. To be honest with you, stuff like that, that's got to be very high up on the list. Where do you take it from in this town and in the town that you may live in? Where do you take it from? It's got to come from somewhere. 40 grand sounds like not a lot when you talk about 38 million, but it is something. And I know that the that the NNC group is actually starting to look into that and seeing if there are some grants and some different things that we might be able to help that along. We certainly we should be able to get somewhere, and we should be able to be met somewhere in the. These are our veterans. These are people that put their life on the line for you and say, hey, I'm going to keep you free so you guys can talk politics and yell at each other and scream at each other, and all the while, you know, we got to be able to put up a memorial. It's got to happen. Let's see. It's tough to read some of this, but why should the town spend close to $1 million on a large steel shed addition at the present DPW location when for approximately $2 million they could build a brand new 14,000 square foot facility, drive-through wash bay, and you know what? I don't know, but I'll take these questions and pass them along to my good friend Elizabeth, and she may have some insight into them. And if not, maybe I know she'll know who to call and whatnot from NNC, and we'll get into that. Well, I'll give you 30 seconds on NNC, I promise. Let you know what's going on there. You know, that's from Anonymous. Thanks, Gary. No problem, Anonymous. You can be anonymous anytime you want, and anybody can be. Let me see about this one. This one says, let's see. Okay, this comes from, it looks like, and I don't want to say your name wrong because you're one of the few people that say, feel free to use this on the air. I don't want to say it wrong. I think it's Kalash or to that effect. Anyway, hey, Gary, great show the other night. Love it. Keep up the good work. I've always agreed with 99% of what you say, but these days I'm starting to question some of my thoughts and stances I have taken and want to run something by you. I've been following NNC, which is a local group that we have here in our town. It's a citizen activist group for those that are out of the town. Every town should have one. If you don't, start one, I guess. A lot of work, though. And one post really hit home and made me think, this town is broken. We both know that, so why don't we just fix it? I have always hated taxes, but they are necessary evil. They are a necessary evil, and while I've enjoyed our town's low tax rate, reality is setting in. They are simply too low. Can you agree with me on that? The school system has taken the brunt of the cuts in recent years, and after reviewing last year's override request and the cuts that had to be made, and he goes on to say that it is giving that money specifically to things. The town can't survive on $13 on $1,000 anymore, and I'm fine with that. Like you, I have a strong distrust of government, state or federal. We're talking about a small town with a small budget. I strongly believe that they are hiding nothing from us, and let's face it, with that smaller budget, it would be hard to do. It's time to have a little faith and trust and do what's best with the extra revenue from tax increases. The override spelled out in black and white what the money was going to be for, and they're not asking for a blank check. You can't argue that our town needs more money. Cuts won't help us anymore. Help me out, Gary. Is this crazy talk? Have I gone over to the dark side? Feel free to read this on the air. What? You know what? All right, let me try to answer a couple of your questions as quickly as I can here. I don't believe that this town is hiding money and that the selectmen or the finance committee or the town manager is running away with bags of money and all that stuff. I don't think that at all. One of the reasons that I was very sticky on asking for a number and where is the money is because I get that we can go find it, but I also get that we have a town manager department that you know we spend a fair amount of money on. We have a pretty good payroll. We have assistants, we have secretaries, we have things. Now, I understand that they would want more and that these are wonderful people. I get all that. I'm not going down that road. But if a citizen says, hey, how much is this? Well, go find it yourself, or no comment, or what should the tax rate be? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the future is going to bring, this and that. You know what? That gets to me. And the reason I ask the questions is because we have elections coming up, right? We're going to have to be in a poll, and we're going to have to decide who to vote for to run this town. And if anyone's going to run for any office in this town, or would like to be appointed to a position or any of that stuff, I don't see where the harm is in asking them where they feel it should be. So if 13 isn't enough, what does it need to be to get to the point that we don't have to talk about raising taxes every single time there's a budget? You always can use more money. We don't have an appetite, I don't think, for $16, $17, $18 on 1,000 in this town. We're the lowest tax rate in the Blackstone Valley, and I think that there's a majority of people in town would like to keep it that way. So, does that mean that I think we shouldn't raise taxes? No. I probably have to come around to the same conclusion that you did, sir. And I've got to tell you that we do need to raise taxes. We do. We have to get that up there. Now, how much is why I wanted a number, because I wanted a number so that I could then get a baseline and start talking to people and saying, hey, you know, they're floating around 1575. Where would you be comfortable? Let's change the conversation from yes or no to how much or how little. Might just work. Again, we've been trying the same stuff for a long time in this town. It hasn't worked. People are looking for engagement, just like these emailers. There's a no voter that's saying, hey, I think I'm going to vote yes. So do I think you went over to the dark side? No, I don't think you did. Unless you want to tell me that you support the new tolls that they're proposing, I think up on Route 3 or something like that I heard today. Then I would say that you've gone to the dark side. But no, I think that you're right. The little town of Northbridge doesn't have a huge budget, but it is a lot of dollars. And there's stuff that we need to do, like war memorials and education and things of this nature. And we can't wait for the state, I understand that, to come for, and no matter what town you live in, let me tell you, whether it's in Northbridge, Massachusetts, or whether it's in Hackensack, New Jersey, or whether you're my emailer that gets me from Houston, Texas, it doesn't matter what town or city you live in. A, they're always going to need more money. B, there's always going to be ways to save money. And there's always going to be people on both sides of it. That's the point of NNC. That's the whole point of it, was to get a place where people could find common ground and move forward. You're not going to get everything you want. None of you. So get it out of you. Just get it out of your system. Okay? The people that never want to raise taxes, you know what? They're going to eventually go up. It's going to happen. And the people that want to raise them to $1,850, $1,000, it's not going to happen. So you got to have some kind of dialogue. And by driving people away from that dialogue, you will continue to get exactly what you've got. And it's not that I have any great understanding of anything politically that I can see into the future, but I mean, look at the past, you'll know what the future is going to be. Do the same things over and over and you will get the same results. So that's why I was asking that question. Tim says, hey, Gary, thanks for some national politics. The mix is better. I do not live in town, but I like local politics and enjoy some also, even about your town. But I do like when you talk state and national stuff. I hear you loud and clear, Tim. Joseph says, Gary, I do not have cable, but I do live in town. I dumped charter long ago. They're terrible. Well, I think you're not alone, Joe. You're not alone. Anyway, the real reason I email you is that I love how I can get the show online. Without that, I couldn't watch your show, and yes, I do live in this town. Are any other shows online? If not, can they be? Email them. Ask them. I don't know what their, you know what I mean, what their deal is, but I'll tell you one thing. The station here is very open, very easy to deal with, great people that run this place, and if there's something that they can do to make something better for the town and for the people that like to watch the station, they do it. You know, I mean, they're very easy people to deal with. So I would not be afraid to reach out and just ask those questions. And I can ask for you. I think we just did. So maybe I'll get an answer at some point. Holly says, Gary, I'm so sick of the crap from Washington these days. I don't know what is worse, the state or the feds. We have a few new reps. They seem okay, but I've not seen much action yet. Well, they are doing stuff. We do have two new Republican reps, one covering part of the town, the other in the whole thing. And, you know, I will not say that I haven't seen much yet because it's early. They've just got in there. They are working on some things, and here's where I stand on it. I think that I'll probably press them pretty hard, and I do know that some of these show feeds do get to them. I want you on the show. I mean, I'd like to be able to, you know, when someone emails like this, I think you guys are doing stuff. So come on the show, and you'll let us know what you're doing. And then Holly can know what you're doing. Let's see, Ronald, Gary, why do you think Obama is not a great leader? The only reason Obama is failing is because people don't like him, and they don't like him because he's black. Isn't that the real issue here? What it is about his policies that you don't like? It has to be that you folks that don't like him just don't like minorities. I doubt you will ever read this on the air or even respond to it, but I'd love at least an email response. Ronald, I'll read it on the air. That's what I say, folks. You wanna come and disagree? That's fine. It's okay. That's fine. It really is okay. You can do that. You can disagree. And here's what I'm going to tell you, Ronald. I'm gonna respond to it like this. I'm going to verbatim. Why do I think Obama's not a great leader? Because he doesn't lead. He doesn't unify. He's a divider. That's what he is. He's divided this country and polarized it in more ways, I think, than we've ever seen before, or I know that I've ever seen before. The only reason Obama is failing is because people don't like him because he is black, you say. That is the biggest bunch of hogwash, Ronald. I wish I had you on the telephone. Because A, it's insulting, B, it's short-sighted, and C, it takes completely out of account the fact that this man has failed time and time and time again and continues to fail. That's why I don't like him. He's not for America. He's not about America before everything and Americans before everyone. And he's the leader of America. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that, Ronald. That's what I don't like about his policy. I don't like anything about most. I don't know that I agree with this guy on much policy-wise. He's just not my cup of tea. It has to be that you folks that don't like him just don't like minorities. Again, insulting. I doubt you'll read this on the air. I just did. I gave you 37 seconds on it, and I'll entertain no more time on the fact that I don't like Obama because of the color of his skin. I find that just insulting, stupid, and you can email it all you want, and I'll keep giving you the same response. But, Ronald, nonetheless, I am glad that you're out there. Let's see. We got an email come in. This comes in. Keep in mind, if no one uses cable, NCTV would close. Well, this is true. As long as you have cable, you'll always have a local station. That's got to be. And I think that the people that get rid of it, to be honest with you, there's a lot of. I mean, I know when I first came to this town, I was amazed at Charter. I mean, it was out every other day. There was no sound, then it wasn't on, then we needed new boxes, and we needed this and that, and I talked to other people, and nobody seemed to really like it. One thing I will tell you, though, you're not wrong. If there was no cable, there would be none of this, although there would be a Freedom Network, just so you know. But we wouldn't do it right from here. But I don't see that as a problem. I think we have plenty of residents in town that do get it, and we have lots of people that like to view it online. And in some cases, they may like the quality online. People have all kinds of different reasons for why they do things. But at the end of the day, the purpose of this show is to get the message of freedom out there. And we're going to do it. We have not stopped doing it for several years now, and we're going to continue to do it. Because it's an important message to get out. With the web now, to be honest with you, you may not have in 10 years cable companies like you see them today. But I can assure you, sir or ma'am, because I'm not sure which you are, the Freedom Network will be around. We'll be here. Emerson says, let's see. Gary, where did you come from? I moved to town a few months back and can't believe there is a show like this on local TV. They have some other cool shows also, but I think you really appeal to so many people and hope the show continues. I like to get my info, opinions, and politics locally, and in this town I actually can. This is awesome. That show that's on after you, wow, that guy is something. Well, we know who he's talking about. Hey, you know what? That's great, Emerson, and you can get all kinds of information right on this station. You keep it in there, keep it on your mind when you're flipping around, you're flipping through. They have lots of really neat stuff, great information, lots of shows, and you can probably view everything they have and when they have it and when you want to tune into different things right online. Just hit them up on the website. Let's see. This one comes from what they call themselves the 27 Group. Hi, Gary. If you remember a few weeks back, or maybe it was last week, there's 27 people, I guess, that have banded together that were very anti-tax, no voters, and they had a lot of, I think, influence. I think that these people are made up of a lot of the leadership, possibly of no movements in the past, maybe not this last one, but I don't have information on who they are, nor do I want that personal information. They want to be kept private. But hey, Gary was reaching out to say thank you for returning to NNC beside Elizabeth. I just want to tell you I was never not beside her, but we did have, and well, let me read his email. I'll let you know so we can move on. She's great and really does a fantastic job. I think you also need to be there not just as a member, but also as administrator, because while we do not agree with everything that you say, we do think you speak for us for the most part. We're thinking about leaving the group after we saw that you had left as an admin, but we're very happy to hear that you are back in action over there. You know what, 27 group, let me tell you. I'll give it 30 seconds. I can explain the whole thing to you. We want this to succeed, we being Elizabeth and myself. We have seen an amazing amount of growth within it. There's an amazing amount of work to be done. I wanted to make sure that she had somebody that was going to be able to give her that partnership. My life is wild and crazy. I'm a busy guy. I'm so busy nobody's seen me in weeks. But the reality is that that's what it is. As my grandfather used to say, it is what it is. I can't change that. But we had a lot of discussions and talks, and we've trying to get and have got some interest in some people to help us out. She wanted to move forward together. I wanted to move forward together. This was mutual both ways. We have no bad blood. There were a few emails about that. There is none that exists. We are moving forward. We're moving forward together, and we're trying to create a place where we can talk about Northbridge stuff, and then we can see some action happen from it. Paige says, NNC, your local group, has really got me thinking. I never would have thought to raise taxes. Actually, I moved here because of the tax rates in the first place. Many people did. But through NNC, I have learned a lot and actually think maybe we do need to raise taxes. But I won't support more than a $1 to $2 per thousand. But you got me to there, my friend. Excuse me, and I can't believe I'm saying this. So thanks, Gary. Can we please now go bash Obama? All emails are responded to. You don't have to agree with me. What's important is that you get involved, and we can always learn from each other. Our lines are open. Our emails are open. Several have come in. You can always call in. We're going to move into some politics now. Before I do, I have one thing I've got to do. The second annual Celebration of Learning, March 25th, 6 to 8 at Northbridge High School. Join them. They're going to showcase student work, units of studies, great example of standard-based education. Students and staff members will be sharing our programs, their programs, I should say, and projects with you. They'll talk about Common Core and preschool. There's all kinds of stuff here. So here's what you got to do. 6:30 p.m., the auditorium. Brief presentation about the Northbridge Career Academies. Everybody is welcome. It's March 25th from 6 to 8, Northbridge High School. Check it out. I'll leave this over here so that they can talk about this on the next one as well. And I saw that actually right there on, I think someone shared that on one of the local ones. Anyway, all right, here we go. So we've moved through a couple of emails popping in. You guys, you love to email. It's amazing. I've done a lot of back and forth talk shows. I've never done this through the email. It takes me 15 minutes to get through. Pick up the phone and call. We can have the conversation. Excellent, Gary. I have popped my popcorn. Let us talk national politics. All right, let's talk. Let's talk. Obama. His bid to beat Bibi backfires. Yeah, it did. Man, you know, I'm going to tell you. This president of ours is something else. These are some of the reasons why, by the way, I don't like Obama. You ask why? I didn't like Clinton either. So there you go. But if I had to vote for Clinton or Obama, I'd vote for Clinton. Anyway, Obama, let's see. American liberals. Now this is I have a whole bunch of different things here to blast through. They come from the Associated Press, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. I go to the left, I go to the right. I don't know that we have middle anymore. There is no more middle. I do find that they're all biased, completely biased to one side or the other. And I know I take heat when I say that because all my conservative friends say, no, because Fox just, they just tell it like it is and all this and that. And for the most part, I mean, they do tell it like it is. But there's a clear agenda there. I mean, come on, you can't tell me that there's not a clear agenda. Just look at how we would, look at the proof you would use that a certain newspaper, just look at their stories and the way they're written and things of that nature. They're obviously right-leaning. Now they are dwarfed by the rest of the mainstream media that leans to the left. But some would say the right, the left, it doesn't matter. You're just playing a game. A good friend of mine, whose name is John, who I will get on this program, who has a I will get you on here, John. I know you watch from time to time. Very interesting take on the government, current and past, and what America's all about. And yeah, some people say that's some fringe thinking. Yeah, I like to listen because some of what that fringe is out there does make sense, and some I don't agree with, some I do. That's all right. It's my prerogative in the United States of America, and do what I want. But liberals, this is, and of course we know that the people living in the White House just 2 days ago were fantasizing about a world that didn't include Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister of Israel, or at least a substantially weakened Bibi, if you will. Let's see. I mean, Israel, this is a really touchy issue for a lot of people. I know it's a touchy issue for a lot of people. But look at it. I mean, Obama figured that his defeat was considered a done deal. It was like a double blessing. Not only would his defeat put the Liberal Party in control in Israel, but also be an embarrassment for the Lukid-loving Republicans at home. And, it's really interesting. Today, the hard reality has fallen that Netanyahu not only won re-election, but did so handedly. And did you watch the news? Could you see well, it's a very close race. We're not going to I mean, you're listening to they're cutting away to Israel. And they're saying in Israel, yes, Netanyahu won. He won re-election. He won it. This is what we got reporting, and this is how we're calling it. And the American journalists are saying, well, they go right, like they weren't even watching what was going on. And they come right back in NBC. They're the worst. As far as I'm concerned, I'll take CNN over NBC any day. NBC is so anti anything that has to do with freedom of any kind in any country, anywhere. And they blindly, I mean, I read a Harvard, check out a Harvard study on bias in the media, from Harvard nonetheless, that says there is a bias in the media. And it's the way you think it is. So, he faces a newly unified opposition and a rising cloud of Arab groups, but Bibi is back, and he certainly has been vindicated, that's for sure. American liberals do well to consider the part of the president and what he played, because let me tell you something. If he had shut his mouth, Netanyahu was kind of beatable there for a minute. I mean, if you follow that, he was not soaring. He had some opposition, and his party had some very stiff opposition. Things work a little bit differently over there, and let me tell you something. He came to America. He made his speech. They said he does that, he'll never win. The Republicans sent letters to Iran, which we can get into. I don't know how I really feel about that, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, they did it. They said, well, this will also defeat Netanyahu. Nothing like that even happened. You know why? I'll tell you why. When you live in a place where people want to kill you, forget all the politics, the reasons, the history, forget all of it. But you live in this little place, and everybody around you wants to kill you. And somebody stands up and says, hey, I'm going to defend this with every breath I got. We will not go down. Ba, 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 ba. And you got someone else who says, well, we should listen to the terrorists. We should understand their plight. We should this, we should that. Go vote. When you see bombs going off near your house, you might vote a little bit differently. You might have a little bit different of an opinion. Well, the question of U.S. taxpayers funding going to defeat Netanyahu, and you can look that up, and Lukid remains in question. It's no secret that Obama had disdain for Netanyahu and was working publicly to undermine his positions ahead of the election. And it turned out to be very helpful, but for Netanyahu, Obama is not popular in Israel. Why would he think that why would he think that he would be popular in Israel? The ego on this man to think that he could sway an election in another country. No one respects you. No one, Obama, respects you except the people that are paid to tell you that they respect you. Everybody else is laughing at you, man. We're all laughing. And it's sad. We're crying. Okay. Let's move here. Obama's overt and covert actions to damage Netanyahu and install the Liberal Party gave Netanyahu and his party the perfect opportunity to warm of foreign meddling and to tell his base voters to rally in order to defy Obama. This is as much about Obama as it is about Netanyahu. Because they know that if somebody else got in, they could become a puppet. Imagine being a puppet for Obama. I mean, Obama's everybody's puppet. Obama just, everything he said he was going to do when he was running for office, he's done none of it successfully. He's done a few things, but they've been just disasters. But this is where we are. This is what's going on. This guy stinks. I just don't see how people continue to follow him. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. No matter what, even if you're a liberal. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a good friend of mine from way back. Maybe you're even watching today, Andy, who is a progressive, who is, I mean, if I'm here on the right, this guy is, I mean, we're like this, right? But we love to talk politics and fight with each other and stuff. It's not personal. That's what makes America good. And, he doesn't like Obama because he doesn't think he's even liberal enough. So you've got a base of people in this country that don't like Obama because he's too liberal, that don't like Obama because they don't view him as a liberal. He has nobody. He just doesn't have anybody that a majority of anything. He's lost his majority status. But now Netanyahu's flying, man. Now Netanyahu's flying. He is flying high. He is moving and grooving. And you know what? If I lived in Israel, I think I'd have to be voting for him. I mean, I don't think that people that live next to you want to negotiate with you. I mean, it's all well and good for us to sit here in the United States of America, in Northbridge or wherever it is that you're watching from, and, pontificate, say, well, we should understand these people and we should do these things. But when the bombs are going off and your kids are being killed and this and that, and you need to retaliate, you need to retaliate. And then the world is going to have a lot to say because, God forbid, Israel retaliates, because it's always about what happened 20 and 30 and 40 years ago is why you can't do something today. I never could understand that logic. The world we live in is the world we live in. It's here. It's 2015. Nothing you can do about the past. So you move forward. Who in the Middle East really wants peace? Who wants peace? There's a lot of unrest there. Now, I hear a lot of things that say, well, that's not right because there's a lot of people in the Middle East and the people want peace. The people, especially in that section of the Middle East, elected terrorists. Did they not? Did they not elect Hamas? Or can I not call them terrorists anymore? Because didn't Obama take them off? Now, I got to look this up because I don't have a lot of information on this. But it happened, I believe, maybe today that some terrorist, I think Iran was taken off the terror list. That's part of his deal, I'm sure. And in punishment for Israel, I believe it was Hamas, but I may be wrong. Someone email me or correct me, look it up, whatever it is. Took them off the terrorist list. How can you say that they're not, forget the whole terrorist list, this and that. How about we just simplify this, right? If you desire to kill somebody because of who they are, okay? Simply because of who they are. The only reason they want them out of there is because they're Jewish. Okay, that's it. Let's just, what are we pussyfooting around for? Just say it. The whole thing is disgusting. The whole Middle East is become nothing but a machine to make money for other countries to fight never-ending wars. That's what it is. We've got a very vibrant drone business going on. Ammunition companies can't make it fast enough. We can't produce enough bullets. We're having shortages and things of that nature. For what? What is it that we're trying to accomplish over there? ISIS just took back a city that hundreds of Americans died to take control of. And yet people support Obama. I will never in my life understand that. Now, didn't I have some polling data? I don't know what I did with the polling data. I thought I had some polling data. Anyway, I might have it further in here. It's disgusting. How about Rubio? Absolutely willing to undo Iran nuke deal. Everything the Republican presidential, this is the deal. You got a lot of people that are trying to get in now on the presidential election. All right, we're going to talk about a few of them. But let me tell you, folks, it ain't looking too good. It just ain't looking too good. Eyeing the Republican presidential nomination, Florida. Now I'm going to talk to you with a little Yiddish accent. Florida Senator Marco Rubio said Tuesday he would absolutely defy European allies, if necessary, to revoke any Iranian nuclear deal he might inherit from President Barack Obama. In an interview with the AP, Rubio said the next U.S. president should not be bound by a potential Obama administration agreement, even if European negotiating partners stand behind the deal. And I quote him, "The United States, although it's less than ideal, could unilaterally reimpose more crushing and additional sanctions." He said he would also use the standing of the United States on the global stage, which doesn't exist anymore, I'm sorry, Mr. Rubio, to try to encourage other nations to do so. I don't think it's going to happen. I just do not think it's going to happen. Got an email coming in. Let's see what we've got here coming in. Let's see. All right, let me throw this out. I'm going to throw this out. All right. This person says, "I have told you before he was not born here and he hates this country and he is a radical Muslim." See, I don't agree with that. A couple of reasons. First of all, let me sit back and think for a minute here. Barack Obama's mother, if I am not mistaken, was born in Kansas. If I'm not mistaken. You can't get much more middle America than Kansas. Now, where she goes and where she travels, I do believe that under U.S. law, unless she takes her citizenship away, which I do not believe that she did, she has a child. That child is an American. Now, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't think I am. I don't think you can argue that. Was he brought up American? No, I'm going to say absolutely not. Was he brought up with values of freedom and Constitution and that kind of stuff? No, he wasn't. You're absolutely right there, email. You're absolutely right. But he, technically, if his mother is a citizen and he's born to his mother, obviously, whether he's born in Canada or Kenya or Hawaii, doesn't make a whole, I don't think, much difference in his citizenship status. So is he on that fence? Is there gray lines and this and that? Yeah, there probably is. But let me tell you, man, you can go after this guy on a lot more than his citizenship, because it's just not going to be undone. And I don't think that he has, or that he is in a situation where he qualified not to be. And boy, I'd love to just say I agree with you and get rid of him on that basis. But I think if that basis were really there, he'd be gone. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's just my little research on it. As far as his religion, I'm going to tell you something. I understand, there's a lot of sayings out there, okay? Not every Muslim is a terrorist, but most Muslims do seem to be terrorists. All right, people say that stuff. Do I agree with it? Do I disagree with it? You have the right to say what you want. You think he's a Muslim? You think he's a Muslim. I don't. I think that he's nothing. That's what I think. I don't think he has any core beliefs, personally. I don't think he has any core beliefs, Mr. Emailer. I don't think he would. I think his ego is too big to be of any religion. He wants to be the religion. Don't you get it? And he's got a good group of people that follow him as though he is a god. I don't think he has time for other gods. I think he's that egotistical. But I just don't think he has any. I think he was exposed to several. I think he's probably got some sympathies toward, because this is what, it's what he is. It's what his father is. It's what his makeup is. It's what his aunts, his uncles. He's lived in it. He's lived under it. He's been part of it. So you're not wrong in what you say, but I don't believe he's a practicing anything. I think that whatever you see him do religiously is all a bunch of you-know-what. I just think he's too egotistical to think that anything could be bigger than himself. Boehner. Oh, man, this guy has got me. I don't even know. Sometimes I can't even look at him. I mean, is he even real? Is he a real person? Or is he like a robot? He makes me very nervous. Something about him just isn't right. He added his voice to a chorus of Republicans pressing Hillary Clinton to turn over her private emails from the email server to an independent arbiter, saying that the American people deserve the facts. Yes, I agree with you. How is it that he is like, how is this guy, right? This leader, this man that's in charge, he's what? Just a few inches away from the presidency of the United States. How is he over here, over there, over here, over there. All right, I'll do what you want, Obama. No, I won't. Obama, you're a jerk. No, actually, you're okay. Let me get a photo op. I mean, this is a guy that's a true politician. That's what he is, first and foremost. Is he looking out for America? Or is he looking out for himself and for a legacy and for the system? I don't know. I don't know. People get mad at me when I beat on him, but you know what? I've just lost a lot of respect for him. Since they seem to have gained the power of the majority, they seem to have just made some really stupid moves, and they haven't really done much with it. Do something. Get some bold things going on here. You guys got the power, man. Use it. Anyway, he told reporters in his first public remarks since Clinton revealed that as Secretary of State, she kept her emails on a separate home server. Now, does anybody have a job that they work somewhere where they use a computer? Because you can't use your computer for nothing. You could get fired for it. But Hillary, if you want to do that, I guess we'll let you do. Boehner declared that a review by a neutral third party is the only way to determine if congressional investigations probing the 2012 attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, have what they need. While the chairman of the panel and other lawmakers have called for a third-party investigation, Clinton has said the server will remain private. You know, I don't think you have the leeway to do that. I just don't think you have the leeway to do that. I mean, come on. What is the big deal here? I don't understand it. I think I got a phone call coming in here. Do I? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm not the technical guy. I'm not the technical guy. What do you want me to tell you? But there's supposedly lights and all kinds of things happening. Emails are pouring in. Gary, Netanyahu would be the only one I could vote for over there. Yeah, I would agree with you there. I'd agree with you there. And whoever that was calling, you can certainly call back if you weren't able to get through. Do we have someone on there? We don't. All right. Very interesting. I must be hearing things. I thought I heard a phone ring and I almost picked it up right there. All righty. Let's move on. State Department. This is from the State Department now. Interesting. No record of Clinton signing separation form. Fox News says the State Department said Tuesday it had no record of Hillary Clinton signing a key form stating that she turned over all official documents upon leaving the department.
Yeah, there is a phone call.
There is a phone call. See, we do have a phone call. All right, let me see. You want me to hit the button here? I'll hit the button. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Hello, you're on the Freedom Network. How are you? There's no one there. I'm sorry, but we can't. Maybe we have some technical difficulties. We must have some technical difficulties. I don't know. I'm not the technical guru. I'm just a big mouth. I must have the wrong line, is what it is. Let me tell you. We got equipment, we got stuff. I think I got the wrong line, that's all. Because it says on my phone, no line, then no line, then line. Anyway, the State Department, this is the State Department spokeswoman, had told reporters that they are fairly certain that she did not sign it. We reviewed Secretary Clinton's official personal file and administrative files and do not have any records of her signing the OF 109 form. She claimed that Clinton did not violate any policy. They have to make sure you stick up for her. At the end, stick up for her because she's part of the machine. I'm getting so nervous. For the second consecutive year, the Obama administration more often than ever censored government files through outright denied access to them under the U.S. Freedom of Information Act. Very interesting. Very interesting. Just very interesting. So, Hillary has added Justice Department spokesman. I mean, is this true? She's added the Justice Department spokesman, Brian Fallon, as lead press secretary. How does that happen? How do you get someone from the Justice Department that wants to jump on board with you? It just makes no darn sense to me, man. It just makes no sense. Now I have a call. Now I got lights are happening. People are pointing. What do I got? The wrong phone? Harry, give me the phone. Harry's going to join us in the set. He's going to switch the phone. Look at
Here you
this.
go.
This is the big time, folks. We've arrived. Hang on one second. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I don't know who this is, but boy, man, you got the whole place hopping. I'm glad you joined us on the Freedom Network. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Good to talk to you,
fantastic.
Gary. I want you to know I love your show. Watch it every week,
Oh, thank you.
and it's a great show. It really is.
Wonderful. We appreciate that.
I wanted to call basically and just reply to the fellow who emailed you on the fact that Obama is not even a citizen.
Yes.
But I think the problem is what has to happen, I really think, is people have to get off that kick that he's not
Yeah.
a citizen, that he's a Muslim. It doesn't make any difference. He's a terrible president.
Yeah.
That's the key. You know,
Yeah.
my feeling is I think he really has a whole different perspective on what America should be, and that's what it is. I mean, he's probably the worst president we've ever had, and ever probably will have.
I mean, I would hope so. I don't know that we can take much worse of a president and still have the United States as we like to see it.
Well, he wants to change it. He doesn't want it to be the United States as it is.
No.
It's a whole different idea about how things should be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we've got almost 2 more years of that kind of philosophy to go through.
Yes.
What are we going to do? He's going to be there.
He is going to be there. There's not. I mean, what do you? I mean, can't the Republicans do a little more than sending letters to Iran and approving his funding for amnesty and for Obamacare and all these things that they seem to have fought against, and they finally got the power, and I'm just a little disappointed.
I agree. I'm a little disappointed too. I think there could be a little more leadership. The problem, though, I feel, is you've got a real strike against you when you have the media constantly sizing up to Obama. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever Obama does is terrific, and whatever the Republicans do is terrible.
I know it is amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing how that happens.
There's no chance that the Republicans can do anything good. I mean, whatever they put through is right automatically dead on arrival. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they go along with it, the media does, and it makes it very difficult to have your voice heard. It really is. But they've got to keep trying. They've got to be a little bit more, I think, bit more forceful and have a little bit more of a spine themselves. But I think it can be done. You know, it's just a question of persevering, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they have to stay. It seems as though the Republicans are better at leading from behind, if you will, than they are at leading from the front when it comes to the congressional level. There's a lot that they could be doing. I mean, a lot of things that they could be doing, and it's very interesting. Everybody gets all upset with the Tea Party. And it's funny because they're the only people really in Washington that are doing exactly and voting the way that the people wanted them to vote that voted them in. I mean,
Right.
it's amazing to see a group of people voted in that are literally going after it. They're going after it, just what the constituents wanted. Maybe it won't work. Maybe they don't get their way, but they don't care. They're not caving. And so far, it seems like... I don't know. I'm very nervous about this next election. If we're looking at Hillary and Jeb Bush, let me tell you something. Third party, here I come. Here I come.
But that's the problem, because if you go to a third party,
Yeah, I know it.
you know, this is what happened in 2012. Over 3 million people stayed home, didn't vote, that would have voted Republican had they gone out. They didn't like
McCain?
Yeah, and that was the problem. So they didn't like him, so they didn't vote for him. And meanwhile, Obama got in again.
It's true, but let me ask you this question. Are we destined to only have two parties? I mean, do we ever get a chance to break the cycle? Do we ever get an opportunity? And if we do, how do you do it? I mean, how do you get somebody with the media and the two-party system now is against you? You've got everything against you. I mean, they look for ways to make you look crazy, but you know what's interesting? And I'll throw this on. I don't think that there's anybody waiting, so I'll hog you for a minute. If I can find it here, but I don't know that I can. I just don't know. I had stuff about Walker in here and all that, but I don't know that he's going to make it. I can't find it, but, oh, here it is. A group called Change for Rule recently wrote a letter to the Commission on Presidential Debates, and they're urging it to eliminate the rule requiring non-major party candidates to average at least 15% in public polling to participate. Now, I know, right? I know that we can't have 4 million people up there debating. I get it because we would never really learn anything about them.
Yeah.
But how, I mean, is that it then? It's Democrats, Republicans, and the establishment is picking these people. I mean, you can't tell me that the best Democrat out there is Hillary Clinton and the best Democrat out there is Jeb Bush. How can I vote for Jeb Bush? Do you realize if one of them becomes president, how many years has it been since Ronald Reagan? We have only had Bushes, Clintons, and Obamas. And it won't end until, what, close to 2020. God forbid they're elected twice. We'll be past 2020. And this was in 1988.
I think the question you have to ask
was
yourself
elected.
is, would you be better off with Jeb Bush or better off with Hillary Clinton? I mean, really.
Let me ask you this question. Are you any better off with either?
For 8 years, 2 terms, and was very effective as a governor. There's no reason why he wouldn't be a good president.
I don't know. He makes me nervous.
What are her qualifications to be the president of the United States, except that she was married to the president of the United States?
Look, I wouldn't vote.
She was a terrible Secretary of State.
No, I'm not looking to bolt to the Democrat Party, but I'm wondering why in America we have decided that we are accepting the fact that when the establishment of the party says this is the person that will run, we wind up with, from 1988 to what very well could be, 2023 or something like that, with only Bushes, Clintons, and Obamas. I mean, George Washington's going to be rolling over in his grave to think that could happen.
There, though, Gary, there would be excellent presidents besides George Bush, who may very well get the nomination. You mentioned Rubio.
Yeah.
The young guy who's got a lot on the ball. He's very articulate, and he's been a very hard-working senator.
Yeah.
You got somebody like Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Very articulate, very aggressive. I think he'd be a good president too. It's very difficult to convince people, I think, ahead of time who would be a good president, who wouldn't be a good president. But the point is, you've got to look at what you've got now and what you might have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The old expression, lesser of evils.
Well, I would look at it polling-wise. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't go vote for a 5% getter in the polls. But, I feel as though when I do that, I'm part of the problem, because how many people are the same and think the same, so they don't vote for that person. They don't vote for John Smith because they don't think he has a chance to win. And is it a self-fulfilling prophecy that we are just going to be looking at? We've been looking at the same parties. They get stronger and stronger. They're more and more entrenched. How do we, who runs the country? Do the people run it, or do these two parties run it? And it makes me a little nervous to think that we're going to come full circle and have decades, plural, of 3 families running the country. I don't know if I can be part of that. I just don't know if I can do it. I don't know. But I'm getting up against the clock. I got to let you go.
Bush is the nominee. You're not going to stay home and let Hillary Clinton get the...
No, I know I'm not, but geez, I don't know how I can. I would have to go home and take a 3-hour shower after voting for Jeb Bush. I just don't like him. That's my problem, probably, is I just don't like him. I don't like what he says about immigration. He's backpedaled and forward-pedaled and gone up and he's gone down. But listen, you got to call me next week so we can continue our conversation, because they're going to throw me out of here and make room for the next show, all right?
Gary, keep up the good work. You do a great job. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye. Interesting. Well, good. We got a nice, juicy, long call right at the end of the program. Emails are still coming in, but they're starting to wave their hands and whatnot at me, so we got to turn the studio around. We got to get all this done. We got to change the whole studio up so you get the right thing for 3 and 11. So, what's the moral of the story? Stay involved. Be involved. I see your emails coming in. I won't have time to get to them. I got about 15, 20 seconds. I'm going to get off the air. That way they'll all have plenty of time to get ready. So what I want to tell you is thank you very much for watching the Freedom Network. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoy being with you for the time that we do have. And I think it really does make a difference when people talk. It's okay if we disagree. Email, all that stuff on the local end. Don't forget, they'll talk about it next hour, but you do have the March 25th, 6 to 8 event going on. You can probably get more information from that on the next program. Find it on Facebook. You can find the Freedom Network. It's a group and it's a page. We're big. And you can also, if you're from Northbridge, look up NNC. It's a group we'd love to have you part of if you're from the town. No matter where you're watching from, thank you for doing so. My name's Gary Rosenberg, the host of the Freedom Network, and we will return next week.
Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A.